We are.
Okay, we're live. Right. Hi, guys. Sorry for keeping you all waiting in the chat. I know there's lots and lots of people chattering away on the side. Although it's saying naught viewers. What's that all about? Is that the delay?
There may well be. Yeah. There's lots of people in the chat, isn't there? It says 30 on the main page.
Okay.
There you
We
go.
are having issues with our guest, which I know a lot of you figured out is Carla because I put the link to her channel below. I don't know what's going on. We managed to see Carla's icon on our screen, but she couldn't see us. She was in a chat on her own. So we're trying to work that out. I'm not really sure.
I think what's happening is it's just not letting. Yeah, it's just not letting her join. She's tried on her phone as well. She just said, and she's clicking the link, but it's just not loading. It's not loading her into the Hangout, which is really weird. The icon appears, doesn't it, at the bottom? But then,
yeah, we could both see Carla's icon. I don't know if Carla's managing to view this right now, but we could see her icon. But she couldn't see us and couldn't take part. So I'm not sure at the moment how we're going to solve this.
Yeah.
Let me just message her again. Okay.
Yeah, so that is a bit of a shame if we can't get it to work. Carla's going to think that we've done it on purpose because she already said that there was a conspiracy that we kept on having too many guys on this chat. just as we tried.
We're trying everything, honestly.
Tech gremlins have got us by the looks of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so sorry guys. At the moment, we're a bit lost for lots of chat going on there.
Yeah.
Has anyone got any? I mean, we should know how to do these chats. 87 in. If we don't know how to fix this, I don't know if anyone else will. But any suggestions? I don't know if
it's just
she can do anything else.
I don't think there's a great deal we can do, to be honest with you. I think if it's not loading her in, then it's just not loading her in. It's one of those difficult ones because it's Kirsten says try turning it off and on again, but that's not a guarantee to work, but it's always worth trying. The link's still there.
One Man Riot says, has somebody banned Carla? I've never banned anybody.
No.
Joining chats.
No.
And she's certainly able to join the side chat. It's not like there's any. Oh, this is so frustrating. I can't even view. Going to restart PC. Okay.
Right, yeah, she's going to restart the PC, so maybe. In the meantime, shall we say a few hellos and stuff? We've got
messaging Carla back.
Yeah, Maria Clark's in here. Karen Fisher. Peter Ray says hi, but he says he's not going to be able to join. I think. Chelsea, French Fancies, Jay Resells, Adam Kelsey, Stephen Moore, Will You Take Less, Richard Payne, Tactical Bite, Panzer. Wow, I can't go through all these names. Jay Ben, One Man Riot, Funky Monkey, Janet Plant, Scavenger Hunt as well. So lots of people in here. Southwest Sellers as well. So
fantastic to see you all. I'm sure we're having tech issues. I saw a few people mention my t-shirt. Yeah, this is my current favorite Depeche Mode t-shirt. I thought I'd wear that tonight. Oh, I hate it when things go wrong like this, especially when you've got so many loyal viewers that come in to watch and then it all goes wrong. Carla has messaged to say she's going to try the whole basically switch it off and on again thing. So she's going to reboot the computer, try and log back in. And beyond that, I'm not sure what else we're going to be able to do, to be honest. So fingers crossed that we'll get Carla in. I've been so looking forward to this. She's such a funny character, and I really wanted to have a chat and get to know her a bit.
It's just going to strengthen her belief that we've been just having guys on this chat. It's not true.
We've had a few ladies on.
We've had a few ladies, but I think it's a very small amount, isn't it, in comparison to?
I guess so. I think does that reflect? No, it doesn't reflect reselling. There's just as many women doing it.
Yeah, a huge amount.
But there are more. Are there more male YouTubers? Maybe
it could be that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not by choice.
Yeah, it's just it's pretty random. It's
we've just had a super chat in from Stephen Watling. At least the mics aren't muted. Yeah, we got that right.
Yeah.
You and see us. We just have a vacant guest.
Yes. Yeah, the mics are working fine, but unfortunately, just not happening.
No. David's just asked me a question. Nick, sold much of your retro gaming haul lately? I've nearly cleared all the Atari stuff. I sent a load of SNES stuff up to Amazon. That's all gone. I've still got the consoles. You can probably see them stacked up here. I'm basically waiting for Q4 on those. Yeah, that's about it. I sent a load of PS1 stuff up to Amazon and did some on eBay, and that's pretty much all gone as well. So it's going pretty well. I wanted to ask here, how are you finding your haul? Are you embracing it with open arms still?
Yeah, I think I am. I think it's something that I touched on with you previously, like when we first talked about it. And it's kind of interesting. It was like the whole idea of I feel like I've got this new energy to like, oh, I can work harder than I thought. You know, like I always thought I was, you know, pretty relaxed and chilled out. But since having this haul, I suppose because of the pressure of it, like financially as well, you know, we've got money in this that we need to get out as well. You know, it's given me this new kind of motivation. Oh wow, look.
Oh, have we
it's worked. Yeah, we have.
I'm in.
Yeah, in and looking brilliant as well. It's looking great.
Oh wow. I was just messaging you back saying worst case scenario, we'll do it another time, and there you are. Fantastic.
I'm gonna have to give Sean Longley his internet back. It doesn't work.
Well, lovely to see you, Carla. How are you?
Relieved now. That was so stressful.
Yeah.
The worst thing is I have a tiny window and the PC won't fit through it. So that was I didn't know what else to do.
Is there a computer-shaped hole in your wall now where you've thrown it? Oh, it is really stressful when you know you've got a load of people waiting to watch the chat and things go wrong technically. There's nothing more stressful. So yeah, I know how you feel. But we've got you here now. That's all that matters.
I'm here. Whether I'll be have you been reading the chat on the side? They're like, oh, Carla's hilarious. Carla's going to be brilliant. But Carla's going to be dull as. I'm going to be so boring. I'm going to sit here like this.
You better not. After all this hassle getting you on it, innit? You want more than that.
I'm really excited to be here. It's like being on Parkinson. Is Parkinson still alive?
I think so.
That's how it feels. It feels like being on Parkinson.
Wow, that's quite high praise for us.
I'm just glad that you made it in, so you can kind of dismiss that notion that you had that we were avoiding having you on. You know,
I was only joking when I said you only have boys.
I know, but I'm sensitive, so.
Yeah. I could tell you were sensitive when I watched your video where you told Bex what a mess she looked at 7:40 in the morning. That was one of the most sensitive things I've ever seen.
That was more a reflection of the lighting that was in the car. I think it came across wrong.
It's so funny watching you two though. When you get snipey, it's like
she gets plenty of snipes in, guys. You know,
how are you alive? How are you
that's the thing. See, you know, she holds her own. She really does. I mean, I think I'm a very lucky person, to be honest.
She doesn't hold yours very often with comments.
Oh gosh, that's making me blush.
Oh, is that what that is? I thought it was just your natural colour.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to do a little bit of an introduction before we carry on with taking the mick out of Zahir. For those of you in the chat who haven't met Carla before, this is Carla Jenkins. You are a reseller and you have your own channel. Do you want to do a little bit of your own intro and tell us a little bit about you, and then we'll quiz you some more? How does that sound?
Oh God, it's like being at a job interview. Tell us a bit about yourself. Okay, I'm Carla Jenkins. I have my own channel. I'm a reseller. I'm 44. I think I'm 44. Oh, there you go. You said it all. I think I'm 44. I'm 40 something, and I've been reselling for about 13 years. On and off, but more on than off. You know, every now and again you go and do something else for a while and it drifts away. But certainly over the last year, it's been what people call full time. Although what I don't work full-time hours. I pull a full-time wage, but I don't work full-time hours. That's why I do it. That's why I do this. If I had to work a full-time wage, full-time hours to get full-time wage, it'd be no fun. There'd be no point to it. So yeah, so for the last year, this has been my sole income. So yeah, just over a year.
So did you leave a job to do the reselling, or how did that work?
I left a job knowing that the reselling would keep me afloat. So over the last sort of 15, I've been self-employed in various capacities. I worked for Ann Summers for 10 years, running a sales team for them. I worked for Body Shop, again, running a sales team. And then I wanted to get out of direct sales. You get very, very bored. Even with Ann Summers, people think, oh, it must be hilarious. Yeah, the first year was hilarious. And after that, I'd heard all the jokes and everybody thought they were saying things for the first time. And you get sick of going out you're going out just when everybody else is coming home and you're wanting to wind down for the evening. You've got to go and start winding yourself up and being hilarious. And so I came away from direct sales and I went to work in a cafe. I went to run a cafe and I thought it would be lovely. And in fact, it was lovely. I enjoyed running the cafe. But the owner of the cafe was not very good at being, he was an absentee owner, but he wasn't very good at being absentee. So it was kind of like, he was an absentee owner who still wanted to keep an eye on you and had run every decision past him. And it just, it wasn't tenable for me. I'm not good at doing what I'm told.
Yeah, like he had you on a lead sort of thing. He wouldn't give you any freedom. Oh, that would drive
absolutely.
Me insane. Oh,
yeah, and additionally, he didn't keep up his side of that. So it'd be like, I wasn't allowed to do the ordering, despite the fact that I was apparently the manager. I wasn't allowed to order the stock, but then he didn't order the stock, with the end result being there was no food, which is one of the things that people seem to want in a cafe is food. They just, you can't seem to persuade them that food's not an important part of the service you're providing. And that, when you're in the firing line, when you're in the front line of that, when you're the one saying to people, yeah, I can do your breakfast, but we've got no sausages.
Yeah.
It got to the point where every time I spoke about him, I would look down and my hands would be like this. And I'd be like, I'm doing the claw. I've turned into the... And one day I went, that's it. I can go back to reselling. Like I said, I've done it on and off. It's always provided a little bit of side income here and there. I can put more energy into that. I can plow more time into that. I can do it properly instead of dabbling. Yeah. And I can make more money doing that on part-time hours than I can here on full-time hours. And perhaps my fingers will relax. Perhaps I won't feel like murdering everyone who spoke to me. I was horrible to live with. I'm not easy to live with at the best of times.
Yeah.
But me stressed is unbearable. I wouldn't want to live with me. So I quit.
Your story totally, yeah, I empathise with that. I got so stressed in certain jobs I had. Leaving was quite a hard decision to make in some occasions, but it was the most relief I'd ever had. It was that feeling of, I know I've made the right decision because I feel 10 times lighter, that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So were you kind of confident that you'd be able to make those numbers, or was there still a bit of a risk? Were you still a bit worried going into it?
No, I knew I could do it. I knew that I could. It was still ticking along in the background. I'd never let it go completely. It was still ticking along, and I was still making probably a quarter of what I was making in the full-time job, just without putting any effort in whatsoever. With going to the occasional boot sale, with popping into the occasional charity shop, I was still making maybe 25% of that full-time wage just doing that. So I knew that if I had the time and the energy, because again, the stress drains you. It drains you of any energy. So on a Sunday, when I ought to have been going to a car boot to see what I could find to resell, I was lying in bed going, thank God the bloody cafe's shut today. Thank God I haven't got to go anywhere. I can just lie here and pull the pillow over my head and pretend that Monday's not coming. And so just taking that pressure away meant that I woke up on a Sunday morning and went, yes, boot sales, and just plowed into it. And I knew it would work. There was never a question in my mind that I couldn't make at least a similar figure to what I was making there. So
yeah. So were you following Tahir and Beck's channel when they took the leap, and was that kind of echoing what was going on in your life?
No, I didn't find Tahir and Beck's until after they just moved up north. So I'm not sure when that was, but yeah, you very recently moved into your new house when I found your channel.
Yeah. I've got to say, actually, what's quite interesting is obviously you do come across as really confident, chatty, humorous, etc. And no, but the thing is, it's interesting because direct sales is really not a picnic, is it? It's very, very difficult. You've got to have an extra level of confidence to actually go into someone's home, or to to be, like you said, just to G yourself up in the evening when everyone else is winding down, and to have that. And did you always have that level of enthusiasm, or like that kind of personality, or is that something that you had to learn because of doing direct sales?
No, I was always the class clown. I was always the bad influence in the class. I was always the one that the teacher was going, oh my God, I don't want her this year.
So you've always had this in you then?
Yeah, I've always just been a cow, basically.
But has that helped you? Like, have you taken any skills that you've noticed that have come in really handy when it comes to then reselling, like in terms of haggling, for example? I can imagine you'd be quite like a potent haggler with that kind of a personality.
Yeah, I'm kind of a cheeky haggler, so I don't kind of just go, how much is this? Or, well, I'll only give you £1. I'm definitely not you get an aggressive, angry haggler who says, well, I'm not paying that. It's only worth 50p. I wouldn't have a dream of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm more of a kind of, how much is this? It's £1. Okay, well, would you take 50p and a smile? And then they're like, I want £1. I'm like, yeah, but look what a good smile it is. It's a brilliant smile. I'm giving you this smile. This smile is yours to keep. Although actually I'm going to take it with me when I walk away. And by that time they've gone, oh, do you know what? Just give me 50p and bugger off, you weirdo.
Hang on, I'm making notes here. I'm taking these down. It's
amazing what you can get by giving away your smile.
Yeah. It's so true though. If you are just personable and have a bit of a chat with them, make them smile, you're halfway there. You really are, I think. And people are more inclined to deal with people that are chatty and normal. And if you're aggressive haggler, I just don't think it works a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So
you've got to be friendly. You've got to be cheerful, and like I said, sometimes I don't know whether either of you guys watched my live stream. I'm sure you've been far too busy, but I did a very quick live stream for my car boot sale haul on Sunday morning, and at the very end of it, I mentioned a pair of wellies that I bought.
Is it the Jules ones?
Yeah. I mean, Karma was looking after me. I don't know which god believes in me. I don't believe any of them, but one of them must believe in me. Because this guy was really unpleasant. I don't know if Nick probably doesn't know. I asked him how much these wellies were. He said they were £2. I said, would he take £1? And he said, no, they're £2 and I'm not here to mess about.
Right.
And I kind of went, okay, no problem. Inside I'm thinking, but no problem at all. So I took my £5 note out of my pocket and I gave him my £5. And he rummaged around in his change box and he gave me £2 coins and 4 50p's. And off I went.
He gave you what, £6?
Yeah, no, he gave me £4. £2 coins and 4 50p's.
Oh, I thought you said two £2 coins. Oh wow. Excellent.
So I had the wellies for £1 and his snarl at me was kind of wasted. I mean, I guess he wasn't having a good morning. It was cold, it was wet, it wasn't very busy, but
Nick, you had like a bit of a funny customer or seller when you came up here, and you actually ended up doing really well from that stall, didn't you?
Well,
there was a lady that just wasn't very, not very personable, you said.
Yeah, well, it was very odd. She felt like I I was putting her out buying her stuff. She was one of those. It was like I was gathering stuff and asking as I went, how much is this? What are you asking for this? And she had a look on her face. And I thought, okay, love, chill out. I just want to buy your things. Anyway, at one point, I had one of those Lego brick alarm clocks, and she said 50p. And then when she added it all up, that suddenly turned into £1, and then she begrudgingly knocked 50p off at the end or something. I was like, yeah, it was a very strange experience. But then one of that Salus,
that came from that lot, didn't it? Yeah,
for a £5. I sold that the other day while I was on holiday for 80. And all the other stuff I got off her sold as well. So I probably made well over £100 out of the deal, but she was pretty grumpy. Despite me trying to be personable and smiling and joking, she just wasn't having it. So, yeah.
I guess some people just don't enjoy themselves first thing on Sunday morning in the cold,
No, and I do get that, to be fair. I do understand. I was going to ask you, Carla, is your reselling a solo venture? Do you do it with your partner or family, or how does it work?
No, just me. No partner. I'm hard to live with.
Oh, okay.
No partner. I've got 2 grown-up kids who live at home, and they do occasionally come and rummage around the boot sales with me, but they don't. I'm gradually easing them into reselling a bit of their own stuff here and there. My son had picked up some Scale Electric, which he's going to try and sell, but they're not really. They don't get the buzz of the profit that I get. So if I can buy it for £1 and sell it for 20 quid, I'm excited by that. I feel like yes. And they don't get that. They're like, yeah, well, you can just go to work and get money that way. And I'm like, yeah, I suppose you could. Yeah. I'd rather do this.
Are you a classic case of somebody who was that kid at school buying and selling sweets and stuff, or was it later in life?
No. My parents owned a newsagent, so I had an unlimited supply of stock to resell.
Were you nicking it off your parents and selling it?
Well, I was, yeah.
I would so have done that. I would so have been there doing that.
A little bit.
Oh wow! So you had a racket going on.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I got caught quite quickly. I wasn't the world's best thief. I wasn't. Yeah, I kind of got trying to walk out to school with a massive box of Mars bars under your coat, because I was not subtle. I was not a couple of Mars bars. I was like a box of Mars bars under my jumper, So.
Excellent. Wow.
Doing it yourself lifestyle. Ryan says this is why Rebecca needs to leave her job. See, she'll be raring to go. So did you really, how do you motivate yourself then, like at home when you decided to do this? What was your major motivation? Was it simply just that you'd had enough of the cafe and that was it, or did you genuinely feel that this is something you want to make into a long-term?
It was, I've had enough of the
life
cafe.
change.
I need to get out of the cafe for my sanity and for the sanity of the people around me. It was all the stress was all consumed. I've never felt stress at those levels before, and it was I need to get out of that. And then once I was out, the motivation is the bills are going to carry on coming in. I'm going to have to pay the bills, and I refuse to go on to benefits. I'm going to have to pay the bills. So
you're just very self-motivated then, really. That's it. That's what it comes down to. Because I know people say, the bills need to be paid, etc. But sometimes even that's not enough motivation for people. It may well be for you and for us, but it doesn't always work like that, I think, and that's why sometimes people end up just not taking the decision to do this full time. I mean, and also, is it like a lifestyle thing for you as well? I mean, do you see yourself doing this in say 5 or 10 years time?
I think as long as eBay's there, I'll be fine. Yeah, as long as eBay's there, I'll carry on because I enjoy it. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy the freedom. I enjoy the fact that I can basically pull what I call pull as a hair and do no work for a day.
I don't know where this has all come out from. This I'm always working. In fact, I'm actually typing on another keyboard with my toes listing as we speak.
With your prehensile toes, yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
It's interesting, talking about the stress thing and motivation, and hearing you say that does reflect a lot of what Andrea and I were going through. We wanted to get out of jobs, out of working for the man, because we didn't fit into that lifestyle, and the level of stress we were under just working for other people is our motivation, and was our motivation in the early days, because we don't want to go back to that. And that is almost enough motivation in itself for us to make this work. And I mean, that was a long time ago, and we've built it up to a level where we're comfortable now. But that was our main motivation back then. We didn't want to be rich. It wasn't necessarily about the lifestyle, although that was a huge benefit, that we were able to bring up Ellen together, not go to work and all of that. But the main motivation looking back was relieving the stress of work, of working for somebody else. So I totally understand that. It's still a big part of it. If the thought of going back to work for other people is motivation enough for me to do this.
Yeah.
There's a question for you guys, actually, both Carla as well, you and Nick. Have you guys ever had a job that you loved? And can you imagine if you ever did have a job that you genuinely loved, would you be so inclined to go after this? Because I've never had a job that I can say that I loved. Every job I was in, I felt I have to be out of this job, and that's why I've ended up doing this now. I mean, how have you guys ever been with that?
I loved Ann Summers for years. I absolutely loved it when I joined, and I loved doing the parties for probably I enjoyed the parties once I got there throughout the entire career. So once you get there and you get started, I always had a good time at work, always. But I began to lose the motivation to go out in the evening. So that's where that came from. But I really enjoyed the job. And I used to say, if somebody would invent a teleport where I could just go, right, it's time to go to work, and arrive there with everything set up and just start, that would have been perfect. I'd have carried on doing that job to the end of time. But I didn't particularly enjoy running the team side of things. Although it paid more money, I didn't particularly enjoy being responsible for somebody else's lack of motivation. When somebody else didn't do their job and my figures reflected that, I didn't particularly enjoy that. I didn't particularly enjoy, with Ann Summers specifically, there was an awful lot of training of other people for absolutely no bloody purpose, excuse my language. But when a lady joins Ann Summers, she gets given her kit, she is trained on her kit, she is trained on sales techniques, she gets hours and hours of training put into them, and they are self-employed. And I'd say 50% of them never do one party. They never, ever even do their first party. So if you said that every lady gets maybe 8 to 10 hours of time put into her to turn her into a sales consultant, and then she never goes to work, and I looked at all those hours and thought, this is bum.
In the max.
Yeah.
Going back to Zahir's question, I loved my time at Half Price Records, and to a certain extent Virgin, but I was still living at home then. I was happy to basically be on minimum wage as a sales assistant, and the only way to move out of home and further my life and you know, work up was to start becoming assistant manager or manager. And the hoops you had to jump through and the bullshit you had to put up with, the politics, the crap, you know, it just very quickly became very stressful. I loved working in record shops, working around music and games and all of that stuff, which I'm passionate about, was fantastic. And the social life of it and working in a shop, I've always enjoyed. But there was no way, the only way to earn more and establish myself was to take on stressful roles.
And that would have moved you away from the music as well. And it would have,
the management, you wouldn't be hands-on with the customers. You wouldn't be dealing with the, you know, the part of it you love, which is buying and selling and talking about music. So the only route for me was to set up I just left Virgin one day and set up my own record store. That was my first ever job. So I was in control of everything then. It didn't make any money and it failed, but I loved that as well. So that was my
the higher up any management chain you go, the more it becomes about numbers rather than about the product. So I think then that's the thing. I'm not really motivated by the numbers. I'm not motivated now by the numbers. Caroline and I were talking, I'm not really motivated. You know, people say, I watch on the groups and people are, well, my target for next year is to do this, or this is my 60-day total, or this is how much my target each week is to pull out the wage that I need to pay the bills and to have enough money that if a friend says, do I want to go for lunch, I can afford to say yes. Or if I need a new pair of trainers, I can just go and buy them, or whatever the thing is. Yeah. I don't want to live a life where I have to look and go, oh no, I probably better not do that. That's probably not, I probably can't afford that. And reselling gives me that. Reselling, it gives me that freedom, and it gives me the figures that I need. And as I was saying, that if I wanted to kill myself and do more, I could probably double my turnover. I don't want to.
Exactly. And we've talked to many different people, as you know, on this show, and people are on all different stages of where they're at, and they have different ambitions, and some are way more motivated, and that's fine as long as you're comfortable with what you want to be doing and where you're at. I think it's great that, you know.
Yeah.
But Ads, for example, when we spoke to Ads, he's super focused and he's got like a 5-year plan and he wants to do this, this and this. And it's fascinating talking to him, but that's not me. That's not where I'm at, but I can totally respect what he's doing as well.
I think it's a good point, because I think you mentioned this earlier as well, Carla, that you like the fact that you can earn what you need to earn, but you're in your mind, you're doing like part-time hours. So you don't have to kill yourself to do this if you're doing the right things, I suppose. How long, but to do that isn't it, you know, it's not easy. I mean, I suppose you can't just start reselling and get like the wage that you need, a full-time wage on part-time hours in essence. How long did it take you to kind of hone what you're doing to achieve the numbers that you needed?
13 years.
13 years. It's taken.
It helps that by the time I wanted to go into this for my main income, I already had a very well established eBay account. I was already into the several thousand of the feedbacks, so it wasn't too difficult. I think if you start now, if you open an eBay Now account now, you're limited to how many items you can sell for the first X period.
Yep.
So you can't start today and hammer it. You can't do that. You can't start today and bung on 100 listings or whatever it is. Can you have to ring up and have your limits raised and all of this? And so that I didn't have any of those hurdles in my way. My account was established. My feedback was established. I don't know how much buyers rely on feedback now, but certainly years ago they used to. You know, the feedback was one of the first things they would look at. I think now they just look at the price and don't really care. But I also don't have any of those restrictions that eBay now place on new sellers. I don't have selling limits. We were talking about this in one of the groups the other day. So when I wanted to start hammering it, it was all in place, ready to go. And I think all of the other skills, things like customer service skills, dealing with the stupid questions that you get, dealing with the returns, all of those things you bring with you from other jobs. The benefit to working through the screen is that you can stop and think about your response rather than having the knee-jerk reaction to things like that. So your customer service is actually better than it might be if you were face-to-face with the idiots.
Yes.
I would say it's still a growing thing. It's taken 13 years to get where I am, and I'm not a perfect reseller. I still make mistakes. I'm still a lazy lister. I don't fill out most of the item specifics. I fill out all the ones that have a red star, because if I don't, it won't let me list the item, and I pretty much ignore most of the rest. I don't put measurements in. A lot of the time, if somebody messages me and asks for a measurement, I don't even respond. Now, that's really lazy. That's really, really lazy.
I heard you saying that when you were chatting to Caroline. You said exactly what you just said, and I was surprised, to be honest. But you obviously, I mean, we haven't touched on what you sell. Actually, you mainly sell clothing, and clearly you're selling a lot of clothing to be comfortable in what you're doing. So that's not hindering you, would you say?
Like I said, I don't think so. Having said that, maybe it is. Maybe if I were doing those things, I'd be a millionaire. Maybe. I can't see the unknowns. I can't see what the effect would be.
Exactly. You might be losing a few sales, but we never know what sales we lose because we don't get them. So yeah, I see what you're saying. It's interesting though. It's interesting to hear a clothing specialist not worrying about all the measurements, because we've all seen the videos where everyone's talking about you have to put the pit to pit and the la 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 and all of this.
And most of my items, one picture.
Oh, really?
I would say 90% of my listings, one picture.
For clothing?
Wow. Just lazy. I'm just lazy. I can't be bothered.
But the thing is, if you found that it's working for you, it's bringing in enough income for you. I mean, like, for example, you're good friends with Caroline, and Caroline is absolutely smashing the listings, and she probably does all these things that you say that you don't do, but you're both achieving what you want personally, and as long as you're getting what you want out of it, surely that's the important thing. I think it's interesting because the perceived wisdom, I suppose, is like, you've got to have lots of photos. eBay punish you if you don't put 3 photos in, or if you don't use item specifics. And here you are saying, fill in just the bare minimum, and I take 1 photo, and I'm still selling what I need to sell to earn what I need to earn.
I'm not saying that anyone should do it my way. That's one of the things I said. I didn't start my YouTube channel so that people could do what I do. At no point have I gone, this is how I do this, and this is what I think you should do. This is just what I do, and I'm happy with my results. Caroline makes about 3 to 4 times a week what I make, I think.
Right.
I mean, we haven't actually sat down with calculators and compared our figures and gone, but judging from the conversations we've had, I think she makes about 3 to 4 times what I make. And her house is 3 to 4 times bigger, and her car is 3 to 4 times bigger. And she has a husband, and I presume he requires some upkeep somewhere along the way. But I have small dreams, and that might sound really unmotivated, but I feel old now, and I feel like I want a quiet life, and I want to be able to pay the bills. I don't have to sweat now when an envelope comes to the door, and I've had those years. I've had those years when I've sat and I've looked at the envelopes and thought, I don't want to open that because I can't pay it. And I've been that person with a pile of unopened bills. There's no point opening them because I can't pay them anyway. So I don't want to be that person. But
I'll tell you
also,
what, I find it refreshing to hear that you're not, you know, trying to earn loads of money. You're basically earning enough to be comfortable and to be happy. And somebody put in the chat actually that their ambition is to be happy. I can't remember who said it. And I think that should be everyone's ambition.
I think it was Candy Floss Crown who said that. I mean, yeah. I think definitely, I think it's, I really do feel, I do feel that's an important point. It's, you've got to tailor your business to your needs. It's not about, you know, not everyone is doing this to earn, you know, huge amounts of cash and live like a crazy lifestyle. It's just about what you need, and some people need a lot more than others, and some need a lot less. It comes down to, you know, it comes down to how many holidays do you like taking a year? Do you take any a year? How many times do you go to get your hair cut? I mean, you know, how many times? It all comes down to lifestyle, and some, you know, you can't judge yourself by anyone else's standards, because their idea of a good lifestyle and your idea of a good lifestyle is a movable feast. There are people out there that live the most basic lives, and they get just as much enjoyment out of people that live the most extravagant lives. You know, it's as simple as that. I mean, there's probably a Buddhist monk somewhere on a mountaintop who's just as happy as an Arab sheikh driving a Lamborghini made for him specifically, and they're probably at the moment enjoying life equally as much.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Well,
I think that's the thing. Multiple possessions don't necessarily bring happiness. In a lot of ways, they just bring more stress. So your Arab sheikh driving his personally made for him Lamborghini pops into the Spar for a pint of milk, and he comes out and somebody's keyed the side of it, and he's devastated. Whereas your Buddhist monk sitting on his mountaintop with his green tea has no Lamborghini to worry about. He doesn't care, you know.
Well, we've all known enough people in our lives, some that are minted and absolutely depressed and miserable people, and we've all known friends and family that have no money, but they're the happiest people we know. It just doesn't correlate whatsoever.
No.
And as long as you are in your own self, you're happy with what you've got, and that's the battle, being happy with what you've got. That's not easy. It's taken me this long in my life to get to that point, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, if you can get to that point, I think you've nailed it. Really.
My great granny used to say, oh, there's feedback somewhere. She used to say, spend a little, save a little, and give a lot away. And I kind of wandered around with that one in my head for all these years, you know, spend a little, save a little, and give a lot away, because that's who she was. She was kind of like, right, I've paid the bills and I've got some food in the cupboard, so all of this other money I don't actually need. And she would literally give it away. And she was the most content woman ever. Now, I'm not my granny, and I don't wander around strewing £20 notes out at strangers, you know, willy-nilly. But that's a brilliant phrase, willy-nilly. Where does that come from?
I love it.
But I do think it was a lesson to me in being contented with not needing to acquire more, you know, to just have enough.
Well, I think it's been proven that people who help others and give to others are genuinely the happiest people around. Just, you know what I mean? If you're a helpful person and you are altruistic, is that the word? You are generally happier in yourself because you get just as much back. And we've talked about this. A lot of people just don't understand why we do YouTube. And going back to what you say, we're not on here preaching, this is how to make money, this is how to resell. It's just, I'm here sharing my weird way of doing it in my little tap cave. And if it helps people, it makes me happy. And a lot of people just don't understand that, but that is what I get out of YouTube. It's a bit odd, but that's what I get out of it.
Yeah, I don't do how-to videos. I do, this is what I bought, and this is what I've sold, and this was the difference between the two. And the entire purpose of that is that if you also want to buy something and sell it, you might want to pick one of these up. And I do that because I've gained so much from watching guys like yourself and Zahir and Ben Fitzpatrick, for example. Ben, I can't even say his name, but he's fantastic. But it opened my eyes to things that I would have never thought of buying. Cora and Helen as well. I used to watch what they were buying. I think I wouldn't want to pick that up. This is amazing. I've just spotted your Tupperware pot on the rack behind you, and I've got one exactly the same just over there.
Yeah, it's a weird grey colour one. I've never found any other grey ones. What's that about? I can't find any to match.
Well, I'm not sending you mine.
Oh, okay. You want this one? You can have this one.
No, you're all right. I can't sell mine either.
This isn't listed, so it's never going to sell.
But yeah, I started my channel because I felt like I'd gained so much, and perhaps something that I had bought and made a profit on might be useful for somebody else for now, and that's all I do. And now I mess about, and that's all I do is.
So talking about, go on, Z.
No, go on, Karen.
I was just going to say, mentioning your channel, there will be a link below. There is already. So everybody who's watching this now, or if you choose to watch it later when we're not live, when you finish, just pop over and check out Carla's channel. Great videos over on there. How many videos are you putting out now? Is it 1 or 2 a week, maybe? I'm
trying to do a charity shop pickups video once every 7 to 10 days. I'm trying to do a sales going out video once a week, and I'm trying to do a live car boot sale haul stream, live stream. I'm trying to do something on a Sunday. And I say trying because I lost the connection 3 times within 20 minutes the other day. It was ridiculous. But yeah, so I'm just trying to get a little bit more regular stuff going out, because I had a period between April to June where I did nothing at all. I lost the urge to record. I used to record in my car. And I found myself just saying the same things every day. I'd think, right, I better record something for YouTube. And every day I'd be sitting there going, I've got nothing to say. I've got nothing to tell you. I don't know why you're watching this. This is very boring. I'm very bored. I'm boring myself. I must be boring you guys. And then I thought, why am I doing that? I just stopped filming. And I had quite a few nice messages saying, oh, I wish you'd make more videos, whatever. So I thought I might streamline it a bit and make functional videos. Is that what I want? Focused on particular things rather than just. I think if you are a person with an interesting life, then doing a daily vlog can be a lovely thing to watch. I don't have an interesting life. I don't do anything. Don't go anywhere. I go out for lunch a lot, but how many times do you want to see me eating my lunch?
Yeah, I do find it very hard to just ramble, and I get paranoid that people are going to be bored, like you just said. So I definitely find I need a focus in my videos. Otherwise, I think, who's going to watch this?
Yeah.
But weirdly, I do enjoy watching people ramble, and I do follow some of the daily vloggers and stuff. So I enjoy watching it, but I'm not sure I could ever make those.
I think the key to remember is, to be honest with you, even when you're doing focused videos, it might be making you feel more comfortable. But if you think about it, there's nothing that hasn't already been done. So even a video that's got like a purpose or an aim, it's probably already out there anyway. What you've got to remember, I suppose, is you've not done it. So someone else may have shown the exact same items or made a video in the exact same style, but you haven't. I think you just have to go. You have to be kind of almost egotistical enough, almost, to say, you know what, internet. I know a million other people have shown you their cats, but I've not shown you my cat, and that's why the internet needs another cat video. And I think that's how you got to be. I just want to put in there, Stephen Watling just super chatted £2 and said, happy dance Z. Not going to happen, mainly because there are many legal ramifications. I'm sure it's copyrighted and everything by Andrea. So
and Andrea, beyond my excuse.
Yeah, that's my excuse.
I'm sorry, Stephen. I completely missed the super chat thing's not working on mine again.
Yeah, I just saw the bar. Yeah, I just saw the bar there.
Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah. Happy dance Z. Well, sorry, Stephen. You'll have to get a refund for that one, because
they're non-refundable as far as I know.
He's not playing that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting about YouTube, and both Sahir and I have had conversations about, after a while, you realise that people are actually watching because it's you, because they get to know you after a while. And it's a weird thing to get your head around.
Yeah.
But then it becomes really enjoyable after that point, because you realize you have kind of an extended friend group that come to watch you because they know you, which is bizarre but fantastic at the same time.
Caroline and I are going to do hopefully a few more of our live streams together, which we're really enjoying. Or at least I'm enjoying them. I can't speak for her. She might be having a terrible time. She might just not be mentioning it.
As a viewer, they're great, honestly.
But yeah, we're hopefully going to do that as a semi-regular thing. We're not going to nail it down to a time and a day, because she has a social life. Apparently some people do. But yeah, so hopefully do that more regularly. And I think you saw our £1 item challenge.
Yes.
So Somebody's just put in the chat that my mug is currently beating her boots, which I'm very pleased about. I have to tell you, she tried to pull a swift one today. I had a message through from eBay saying, "Hi, I'm very interested in your Villaway and Bosch mug. Would you accept a buy it now price of £25?"
Ooh.
Which would have been lovely, except that she had failed to sign out of her usual selling account into her buying account. So I replied, "Yes, I would be delighted to accept your offer of £25. Will you take an offer of £24.99 on your Timberland boots?" Sent me a message back going, "Oh, bugger, that failed, didn't it?"
But what was she trying to do there? Because if she'd have bought them, she would have had to have beaten that price.
Yeah, I think she's
very confident.
I'd get all excited.
Or she'd have bought them and then I think her plan was to buy them and then not pay. So you'd have failed.
Oh, I think she'd take a non-paying, because she'd get a non-paying bidder strike. I always go through with the cases. Always, she'd get. Not only would she get a non-paying bidder strike, but I'd send her a box of whatever the stuff that she suggests you send to people. That's her idea. This could be
the end of a very good friendship, couldn't it? This could be the end of it. I can see this going sour.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I'm looking forward to that. Do they end on Sunday? Is that right?
Yes, mine ends at something stupid like 7:13 p.m.
Right.
I tried to do a scheduled listing, and eBay wouldn't play. It just wouldn't. I kept scheduling it for 7 p.m. and it kept saying your listing is scheduled and we'll start at 7:06 and 7:13, and no matter how many times I adjusted it, it just went no. So
but were you trying to schedule it for a time that was was it less than that? Were you trying to list it for a week, but you were trying to list it like an hour ago?
No, I was. This was around about 6 p.m. and I was trying to start it at 7 p.m. to run for a week.
Oh.
And it just wouldn't accept 7 p.m. It kept darting about from 7:06, 6:52, because we were both going to do a 7 p.m. so they would finish at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know what time Caroline's finishes, but mine's like 7:13.
Okay. Excellent. So here you're slowly fading away into blackness.
It's getting a bit dark, I suppose. I do have a lamp, but it's over there.
We can still just about see you.
Yeah, it's getting a bit dark. I'm not going to mess around with the camera again because it just messes things up. It makes it go all funny.
At least Beck's not there to tell you off. It doesn't make me laugh. Leave the camera alone.
Yeah. She gets fresh.
Can I just read Daisy's comment? She says, she said, "True words, Carla." I think this is going back to another conversation we were having. And she goes on to say, "No good being the richest in the graveyard." So going back to basically money doesn't make you happy and you can't take it with you. So yeah, if you can just be happy and comfortable, and you've cracked it. You really have. Wow, there's so much chat. Thanks everyone for joining us. We're currently on 160 viewers, which is fantastic on a rather overcast Tuesday evening.
It's astonishing. I find it astonishing that people sit there and watch. Like I said, when they watch me, when it's just me, I can understand why they're watching you guys. You're a regular thing. But when I do my live streams and people come along, I'm like, why are you here? I don't even know why I'm here, let alone why you guys are here.
Well, get used to it, because I think your channel's going to grow because you're a natural at it. You're bubbly and enjoyable to watch. That's half the battle.
I'm enjoying doing it. I am enjoying. Yeah, I'm enjoying interacting. I didn't even know. I mean, obviously I knew other people resold, but I didn't know there was a reselling community until I quit and decided to go full time. And it was the first video I found. I didn't even really watch a lot of YouTube until about a year ago. YouTube was kind of one of those things. I knew it was there, and if I wanted some music on when I was cleaning, I could go and put it on, or if I wanted to find out to remind myself how to wire a plug, I would go to YouTube. But I didn't know that there was a reselling community making YouTube videos. I had no concept of that. And I came across Caroline, one half of the Celtic Traders, by mistake. Not by mistake, but, just by surprise one day.
Yeah.
And followed a link from her to somebody else, and from her to you, and you to Z, and this person's. And before I knew it, I was spending more time watching YouTube than I was spending doing eBay.
That's the trouble. That's the trouble. Yeah. I was saying only, I think on Sunday, somebody was asking me, how much time do I spend on YouTube? And I had to be honest and say, I really have to restrict it now, because there are, I mean, when Zahir and I started out, there was kind of us and Joe Pennies and Tom and maybe Caroline. And now in the UK, there must be 40 or 50. really look, and you just can't watch them all. It's a shame, but you have to be really picky, otherwise you do lose a whole afternoon just from video to video.
I think when you first come across the community, though, it is exciting, because
it's like finding people who knew what I meant.
Well, because I think for you guys it would be a bit of a different perspective, because you'd both been doing this on and off, or like Nick, obviously you've been doing it for years, and then Carla, you said on and off you've been doing it for 13 years. But even for someone like myself who started only like 3 years ago now, you start out on this journey, and you at first you feel like you're on your own. You've only seen a few like American people do it, and you've got doubts in your head saying, oh, will it work over here? And then suddenly you find this community of people doing it here successfully, and it really does give you such a boost in confidence. And I definitely remember watching tons and tons of videos as well in the beginning. I still watch a fair few of them, but not as many as I used to. But it's massive help, isn't it? It's almost like you get strength from it by having other people doing what you're doing and sharing.
Buoys you up a bit. It keeps you
completely.
Keeps you believing that it's doable as well.
Exactly, because at first you're not going to be super as positive as you may be, but you're not going to fully believe that you can do it. I know you have to. I know people say you have to believe you're going to do it, and yeah, you do have to believe you're going to do it, but you can't ever fully really believe it unless you're the most confident person in the world. So it's nice that when you're feeling down, I mean, I even went to the extent that before of making videos when I was feeling a bit down, and it was so nice to get comments just to say, everyone goes through this, ups and downs. Sales will pick back up again, etc. And it just gives you confidence.
In a weird way, I was just going to say, when I kind of found the community and then it started to grow in the UK around the few of us that were doing videos, in a strange way, it validated what I was doing and what I thought I was. I'm a reseller, but I was kind of on my own in my own little bubble, and knowing that a lot of other people do this and they do it successfully and they enjoy it, it's like I don't feel such a weirdo anymore.
It's a real thing. I do a real thing.
Exactly. It kind of gave me that. And then it gave me friendships and a community which just has enriched my life. Simple as that. So it's been awesome.
It definitely helps. I mean, I just got asked earlier by a neighbor, what do you do? They just came out and asked, what do you do? Because they're just wondering, I suppose, like, they see me working at different hours or whatever. Or
I bet they saw you pull up in that van, unloading it for an hour, and they're thinking, what on earth?
Maybe,
What's that dodgy bloke next door with the red face doing now?
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Pretty much.
Well, Carla, that they've been in their house for a week or two, and the coppers turned up.
I don't think I knew that. What was that about?
Oh, you have to tell that one quickly, Z.
I had the Met Police stab vest for sale on eBay, and I bought it from auction, all legit with a receipt, and someone had reported it, so I had the police turn up a week after we moved in here, and it was the talk of the town. Apparently they were talking about it down Wheatsheaf.
Those new people have had the police round.
Yeah,
they're from that London,
Yeah.
I don't know what. For some reason, I'm doing a Cornish accent, and that's not where you live.
No. Kirsten's Curiosity says, I started my channel because I wanted to feel part of it and to get to know people. And I think that sums it up, quite nicely, doesn't it? It makes you, by putting out content, when you've been watching lots of content, it's so nice to be able to give back. I mean, I remember one of my main reasons was after watching Nick's videos, I almost felt, because of what his videos did for me, it almost made me feel like I now have to, if I can do that for even one person,
Yeah, like I said, people showed me things that I would not have thought of buying. People helped me to boost my income, and I want to be able to do that back if I can. And like I said, I don't buy anything very exciting. I don't necessarily buy anything very unusual. But every now and again, something that I buy will be something you didn't think of buying. And most of it's bread and butter. I don't tend to have very many massive, surprise bolos. Most of it's bread and butter, but bread and butter is still quite nice. It's not as nice as cake. We've had this conversation before, but it's still quite nice, particularly if you're hungry.
And I think it is inspiring seeing somebody, happy in what they're doing and turning over, even if it is just mostly, like you say, bread and butter items, it works, and that is inspiring in itself. I just quickly need to say that Krillin has super chatted $5. Thanks, mate. He says, I think a bit tongue-in-cheek, we in America don't waste time on YouTube. We have death piles in our bedrooms loaded with inventory. It only happens in the UK. I think there's plenty of people in America with death piles. I've seen them. I know Margaret. So I don't believe you. It's not just us Brits with death piles wasting all our time on YouTube.
Mine's really short. My current pile is only just at shoulder height. That's not too bad. I mean, there we go.
Oh, is that your stock in pile, is it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's not too bad at the moment.
I think you should be getting a commission from IKEA, Carla, because earlier on in the chat, a couple of people were saying how after watching your video, they've gone and bought that set of
Kallax.
Yeah, fabulous. I'm evangelical about these. I'm at the point of knocking on people's doors going, have you bought these? If not, why not? Because they're great.
I think Beck wants them now as well.
In Andrew's office, she's got racks of them.
Loads of it in there, loads.
I must admit, the way you store your clothing in the bags in those is different to what Andrew does, and I think I'm going to chat to her about that, see if we could implement that.
I was saying to Caroline, it works particularly well because it's slithery, which is not really what you look for in clothing generally. But what I mean is, I can pull out one dress and everything else is still where it was meant to be.
Still folded.
Whereas before, if the materials were just folded next to each other, you pull out one dress and it would pull out several other things with it, and everything would need refolding, and you weren't sure whether it was the right one. Whereas this is all labelled. I know it's the right one as soon as I pulled it out. It's a bit geeky. I know it's a bit geeky, but it's made my life so much easier because, again, with the stress levels of having to refold things and not being able to find things, it's made a difference. So, and the bag thing is thanks to Sue's Piles of Shame. So, well, the bag labeling thing. So I was starting to cellophane bag a while ago, and then she did a video showing her Dymo 450 and the little labels that she puts on, and I was like, why aren't I doing that? That's a brilliant idea. You know, light bulb moment. And that again just made such a difference.
The Dymo printer, is that one that you plug into your PC, or do you just type into the little handheld one?
It's this one.
So it's plugged into your computer, yeah? Yeah.
It's shaped like a large mouse, and they're currently like 50 quid, I think, from Amazon or something like that. They're really not very expensive, and they're brilliant. And you can buy compatible labels as well, so you don't have to. The Dymo labels are about £9 billion of old or something, but you can buy compatible ones cheaper.
Sib K says it's not geeky; it's a time saver.
It really is, and a stress saver. Look, put the claws away again. But it's not all like that. When you get into this unit here, all the things that are books, like the toys and games and the jigsaws and things, they're lovely. They go in like books on a shelf. But you open the one with the crockery and the mugs and things, and it's one of those where you open it like that with the other hand up just in case it all goes.
Yeah, I have a few of these units that are a bit like Jenga. This one here is quite bad, where you've just got like a Furby stacked on top of some books, you know, stacked on top of just random crap, and nothing fits right, so you just cram it in.
And the thing you want is always at the back. The thing you want is always at the back behind all the other crap, always.
Yeah, totally.
If you've seen Steve Green trying to get things out of his shed, the poor man. Have you watched one of his videos when he needs something from the shed? Oh my goodness! I want to go around and pat him on the head and go, there, it's okay.
I think Steve's in the chat somewhere. Actually. Yeah, it's still in there.
He has to unload the entire shed and then load it back in again, and I'm like, oh dear.
Just to get one item out.
I've just noticed Margaret's in the chat. I don't know if she's still watching. I just want to say hi to Margaret, and I hope she's okay. She was caught up in the floods in Texas.
Oh no.
We were away, obviously, on holiday, so we hadn't seen any of the news footage. And I watched Casey Neistat's video that he put up a couple of days ago. He went down to his wife's family, who were somewhere near where all the flooding happened, and it was just shocking, so bad. So I know Tex is okay and their family are safe, but yeah, best wishes to you, Tex.
Oh yeah, absolutely. My best wishes as well. I hope everything is not. I don't know. What do you hope? You just hope that everything gets better soon.
Yeah,
it's just such a stressful thing to have to cope with, isn't it? I mean, just you don't imagine you have to cope with flooding, do you? It's not like on the list normally.
No, exactly. You just assume that the rain is going to stay out there and you'll be all right in here. Yeah.
Oh, she says we are well. Yeah, my kids have been amazingly compassionate. Oh, okay, so they're all safe and well. That's the main thing. Okay.
I can see Karen Fisher asking how people store shoes. She says she's got hers in a large box. She doesn't think it's practical. Mine are in these flipping cubes. Everything is in these cubes. I've got four cubes of shoes, all thrown in together. And yeah, they are a pain. I never know which one. I probably ought to get around to getting them into color order or something. So at least I know if it's black shoes, they'll be in this cube or something.
Andrea has cubes exactly the same, full of shoes, and it's just a case of getting them out and finding them.
If I'm lucky, both the shoes are in the same cube. But I think I remember being in a chat somewhere before and saying I was trying to find a pair of shoes, and I'd found two shoes that looked just about similar, and that would have to do.
just send them; it'll be fine.
They're both the same colour. One's flat and one's a stiletto, but you know it'll be all right.
Well, amazingly, we've been chatting for an hour. Well, I don't think we've had Carla in for an hour, so we could keep going for a little bit. It's just so we get.
It took me about 20 minutes to find the door handle. I think I've been thinking about this. I think both you and Z were on the inside of the door, holding it shut, going ha 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 ha. You lads, just because I frightened you by telling you I didn't know what you were on about when you said about coming on.
Yes, I didn't tell Zahir that. I messaged Carla to get a Facebook Messenger thing. I said, I know Zahir's arranged for you to be on the Tat Chat because it was all kind of arranged while I was away. I said, you know, I'll drop the link in here or something. And Carla came back with just a straight, I don't know what you're talking about. And there was a part of me that fell for it. And I thought, nah. Really? So yeah, you knew you had me there. But let me just dip in the chat and see if we've got any more questions. If anybody has any questions before we start thinking about wrapping this up for Carla, then just drop them in and we'll get onto them. I was going to ask you as well, do you have any particular Christmas plans for your business, or because it's mainly clothing, does it not really change?
I've got a really, really detailed plan for Q4. Really, I've thought it out. I've got the paper and pen out. I've got grids. I've got bar charts, and I've boiled it down to I'm going to buy stuff and sell stuff and spend the money.
That's
it. Yeah, I haven't bought out. I don't buy anything special. I buy what I see. I list it. If I saved it for Q4, I wouldn't have anywhere to put it. You know, so I just buy it and list it. I have got one box of Christmas decorations that I bought in the January sales, so they're going to go on. But that's it. That's my entire Christmas plan. Sell stuff, hopefully.
Fair enough. That works. Buy it, sell it, make some money if you're lucky. There you go.
Yeah,
kind of sums up my life motto there.
I think it also echoes that not everyone prepares for Q4 in the same way. For some people, it's not even a thing. Like, you know, normally for us, it's just not even a consideration. Like you, we just carry on buying and selling what we normally buy and sell. But I think for some sellers out there that do buy giftables and things like that, they do have to take it into account a lot more, and you know, hope, or if they sell things that sell particularly well like that. I mean, like Nick, you hold stuff back all the time, don't you?
Yeah, and I'm just thinking that I think my next task is to sort out the electronics, and then after that it's sort out everything for, this is all FBA under here. This is
I don't do Amazon, so I think that makes a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it really pays off to hold stuff back for Q4, particularly with Amazon, when prices can just go insane. I mean, you're talking 5 times as much on a certain board game that would sell now. If you sell it right at peak in December, you can get 5 times as much. So it just makes business sense. So that's a lot of my Q4 is just holding stuff back. I mean, in the loft, we have a load of stuff we bought in the January sales, loads of like cosmetic stuff and all of that we're going to pile on eBay in sort of November, December. So it's not rocket science, but it just works for us, and it always has done. So we just stick at it. I did see a question. There was a couple coming in for you. Let me quickly find that.
I noticed that Karen asked if I buy high-end labels or just anything. Yeah. If I buy high-end labels if I see them, but some of this is Primark. Some of it's Next. A lot of it's M&S. I buy whatever I think will sell. So if I see something that I think is really nice, I will buy it, irrespective of whether I recognize the brand or not. Or if I see something that I recognize as a good brand, I will buy it irrespective of whether I think it's nice or not.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm certainly not picky about the labels I buy. I just quite a lot of Primark stuff will sell for more than the original tag price, which is surprising, you know.
Yeah, is that just simply because they're not making it anymore?
Well, it's because Primark is incredibly popular, and it gets a lot of exposure through the fashion bloggers and your fashion YouTubers and things like that, and they only make a limited amount.
Yeah.
And then people can't get it. So.
Yeah. Andrea got in, this is going back 3 or 4 months, got in on certain shoes, like summer style shoes that were just selling out. Like you said, some YouTuber or some famous person had promoted them, and she went and bought a stack of them and was selling them way beyond RRP, which just surprised me. But there you go, you've just explained.
It's like that speak out game last Christmas, isn't it? Yeah. I only got 3. I've lost the ability to speak. I put it on the reselling group that they were in stock at these shops, and they were going to be this price, and they were going to be popular. And I went out, and there were 6 on the shelf, and there were 2 other ladies there, and one grabbed 2 and one grabbed 1, and I got the other 3 and ran off to the till like this. I paid £16 each and sold them all for £50 each within an hour.
Mm-hmm.
But I only got 3. Some people bought as many as they could get their hands on, and the craze burnt out within 2 or 3 days.
Wow, that's
and I know that some people were stuck with them, so I was quite glad that I'd only got 3, really, in a way. You know,
it's always a bit of a gamble. It's like going back. Do you remember? I don't know if you were watching my channel when I had those the Chewbacca masks. Do you remember all of that?
I remember the Chewbacca mask.
Yeah. And a few of us resellers got in on it really quick. I think Caroline got in on it a bit as well. But it was kind of over in a flash. But if you got in on it early enough, I managed to just raid a load of Argos stores and had a stack of them. Yeah. And just turn them over quickly. But yeah, you've got to be in and out quick on some of that RA stuff. I did see another question. Question: are the charity shops better after Christmas due to all the unwanted gifts? Have you guys ever seen any of that going on?
I guess it depends on whether it's what you want to sell.
I didn't notice that. I personally, I've always thought, oh yeah, and all the great stuff and unwanted presents and old toys and old things are going to be in the charity shops. It didn't happen for me last time.
Yeah, I've never noticed a bit.
Yeah, I've never noticed like a jump in. You'd think there would be, but
I think it might be too soon. So, for example, if somebody gives me a gift set of something that I don't want for the bathroom, you know, a kind of a shower gel set, I don't rush out in the first 2 weeks of January and take it to the charity shop. I put it in the bathroom, and it sits there, and I look at it, and I think, I don't think I want to open that. I don't fancy, I don't know, gardenia and bum fluff smell or whatever it is. So I don't think I want to open that. I don't fancy it. And I put it there, and I think, well, maybe we'll use it when we run out. And then when we run out of the thing we do want to use, we just buy more anyway, because that's the one we use. And so probably around about April or May, I go, oh, sod it, I'll just take it to the charity shop. So I don't think January is the time when it happens.
I think you're right, because you have that sort of guilt, don't you? It's like, oh, Auntie so-and-so gave me this. I can't give it straight to a charity shop. It feels wrong, so I'm going to have to own it for at least 3 or 4 months.
I have to keep it until it's dusty and then donate it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Jason's just said, I was an hour late. Can I have a recap, please?
I was an hour late as well.
Yeah, we had issues getting our guest in the chat, so you didn't miss a lot there, and then we've just rambled. So
One man like wants to know how many returns I get a month. I probably get an average of 1 a week, and it's usually shoes. I did say bum fluff smell bum crap picker. I did say that. Sorry. Yeah, I get an average return of 1 a week, and it's usually shoes. I tend to refund without return if it's an item not as described and it's a low value. So anything under a tenner, if I get an item not as described and I accept that I am at fault, then I tend to refund without return. Yeah, because it's just not worth it financially. By the time I've paid the return postage, I just have your money back, you know, and you're more likely to get a positive response. You may not get any feedback at all, but you're less likely to get a negative than if you force them to return blah blah blah. But most of my returns are shoes, and it's generally they don't fit. There's not usually anything wrong with them. It's just that people don't know what bloody size their feet are.
Yeah. Yeah, we judge them all on a case by case basis returns. You know, I mean, we've fought a few recently because they were just blatant, bloody awful. I'm so glad I fought that shoe case because.
Oh, I haven't heard the outcome of your shoe case.
Yeah, I got it settled in my favor, so they didn't get their refund. Also, I was charged to have them sent back because they were item not as described. So I also fought that, and they gave me that charge back, and they are investigating the account. So,
and are they going to give you the hours of phone calls back as well?
I don't think so, but I got a certain amount of pleasure out of the fact that I won the case. So that's what
Absolutely.
I get out of it. And I get to keep my whole £20. Woohoo!
You don't take on Nick Hills lightly.
That's right. Damn you lot.
Did you actually do the "Don't you know who I am"?
No, I haven't tried that line yet. No.
I am the Parkinson of YouTube, you know.
Oh, you are proper fading away now, Z. I'm just looking down at your little icon. There's like nothing there.
Yeah, there's a lot of comments coming in about the lighting setup. There's the lights have gone here, so I've got no lamp. So
I noticed you've moved your lighting setup. What was the reasoning there?
Well, no, my light, there's no room in here now, so I've got no room for it. I normally have my lights in here, and like I said, the lights have gone. It's one of those dodgy lamp. Did you see that little weird spidery thing?
Yeah.
It does look like an enormous spider.
Yeah, that's like that used to be the light in here, and it's gone, and I just haven't bothered to go up and change it yet. And so I've been what I've been doing for the past few weeks. We've been putting our lighting setup in here, but there's no room now. So this lamp's doing bugger all. Look, I've got this lamp, but it's just like
the whole like trying to cave with the candles are here.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I've just noticed Krillin has just super chatted $2. Thanks, mate. And he's put a question in. Do you put UK and US shoe sizes in listings? We'll start with you, Carla. Do you put all the different shoe sizes in for the different regions?
If they are US shoes, so for example, if I buy 9 West, then I put the US size and the UK size. But if they are UK shoes, I only put the UK size. I don't feel that a lot of Americans buy English shoes, and I don't know why I feel that. I don't know where I've formulated this opinion from.
I know that a lot of higher end men's dress shoes do go abroad. You know, your Lokes and that sort of stuff, so they're certainly worth doing. I think when Andrew does most of our clothing stuff, and I think with shoes she will put in a sort of translation for the EU size and possibly US as well. Certainly Europe.
Translating that because I keep getting it wrong. There seems to be several different translation sites out there that tell you a 38 is this or a 38 is that, and I keep getting it wrong. So now I just put whatever it says on the shoe. If it says EU 38, I put EU 38, and they can translate it themselves, and then they can't blame me.
Yeah, and that's interesting.
I've had several returns where they've gone, you put that this is a UK size 4, and I've got UK size 4 feet, and this is plainly a UK size 20, and I'm like, okay, I've sold your clown shoes apparently, but you know, it's just.
But they could be saying that to get the free return as well, you see. Maybe,
yeah, maybe. But yeah, I did. Have you had any of these Hermes parcel refutement things where they've said that yours has been the wrong size? Have you had any of those?
No.
Am I making any sense?
Overcharge. Are you talking about? Yes. I had a couple with using Parcel to Go. So every time I was sending stuff, it didn't ever happen before, and then all of a sudden I started to get like a little spate of them. Not many, but too many for it to be me. Because the first time it happens, you think, okay, yeah, I've made a mistake, and you just pay up. And then it happened a couple more times, and then I knew that it wasn't me. I know how to weigh a parcel. I've been doing it successfully for many years. I don't think I've forgotten how to do it. And so it's pretty much stopped me from using Parcel to Go. And then the same thing happened to Rebecca now, where she's just had the same issue. She sent them like a snarky email. They came back with, can you contact your customer to get them to weigh the parcel? It's like, no way. You know, yeah. So you're the ones. Yeah, I know. I feel like making a rant video about how absolutely terrible Parcel to Go are, because I really do. You made one.
I'm sure I saw you.
I feel like I need to, and I want to make like a proper Parcel to Go,
an hour long.
Yeah, like
a proper epic.
Just saying,
do it and send the link.
Just talking about them makes me mad now, because it's happening to too many people.
The reason I mentioned it in the context of shoes was that I had a dispute from them, and it wasn't the weight of my parcel they argued with, it was the length of my parcel.
Oh, right, okay.
The parcel I had sent was something like 38 inches long or something like that. And therefore it did not fit into the small parcel category. It had to be a medium parcel because it was so long. And the item that I had posted was a pair of shoes.
Right. So there's no way it was what they were claiming.
So I sent them the screenshot of my eBay account with this pair of shoes, and they're tracking them and all the rest of it. And I said to them, can you please tell me what shoes you think I could possibly have posted that would be 38 inches long? I wasn't sending them to, you know, Stephen King for one of his video releases. It was just a pair of shoes. I don't quite know what you think. Never had a reply, but I never paid the bill.
Charged then.
Yeah, they didn't. But I mean, I don't think they're real people, because you get very automated responses if you try and talk to them.
Yeah.
Was that with Parcel to Go though? If you owe them money now, they won't let you use their website until you've paid up.
Oh, I'm still sending through them. So.
Well, they may have removed, like you said, they've removed it. But if you just ignore it, for example, say if you're like, oh, I'm not paying that, you won't be able to use the website until you've paid up or dealt with it.
Just get another account. Can't you just get another account, or just go direct to Hermes? I Hermes account direct on their page anyway.
I just use Shuttle now, to be honest, because they've at least got the 0 to 2 kilo option.
My only gripe with Shuttle is that I like to pay for my postage as I go along. And I am now dreading what my shuttle bill is going to look like, because I've been using it. It's been great. But I'm now thinking, how big is my shuttle? Because I don't seem to be able to find anywhere where I can look at how much I've spent so far. I can't find a link to that.
I think there actually is. I saw it the other day where it keeps a running kind of a account of how much you've spent. It may even be just on the breakdown of your I'm not sure actually. I did see it somewhere. I'm going to see if I can find it.
While you have a look, I just want to give a shout out. Lisa Fenn put in the side chat there. She says, Nick, please can you give a shout out to my daughter Beth Ann? She is sitting here listening to you and giggling. It would make her day. So hi Beth Ann, hope you're okay. I think that's her daughter who's been ill. Is that right? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think she's been in hospital. Lisa's got around there feeding her up, I think.
Oh right, fantastic. So hi Beth Ann, hope you're feeling good.
Simple says I'm like the anti-eBay policy woman.
yeah, I saw that one. A few people saying clown shoes ? Yeah, that's what you were getting at. Yeah. French Fancy says, Z, I've had the same thing with Parcels to Go. I now use Parcels Please. I've never heard of that one.
Oh no, I've never heard of them.
Yeah. I'm in the process of sorting out with Royal Mail. Hopefully I'm going to change my account so I keep all the benefits and keep all the discounts, but I will get printable labels. I've just got to get some fancy zebra printer or something, and then I'll get trackable parcels for cheap. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they can sort that for me. That's the goal anyway.
So do you send most of yours by Royal Mail now?
Yeah, 95%. I only send big, heavy, bulky stuff by courier.
And do you send by the tracked method? Do you pay the extra quid to have it signed for or registered or whatever they call it this week?
With Royal Mail, what I do, pretty much anything £20 and beyond, we add the extra to send it recorded delivery. So we have all the recorded stuff here. So we'll do all of that ourselves.
Yeah.
And then we have a logbook and everything. But it all just goes in the sack, and I just drop the sacks off at the post office. I do all of this myself. But the new system, we'll get those little printed like QR codes or whatever, I think, and it goes on with the label, and then all my parcels are tracked for no extra fee.
Right. Yes. I send everything via Hermes. Everything via Hermes, unless it's somewhere that Hermes won't cover without charging me God knows how much extra, or unless it's large letter size, in which case it goes Royal Mail.
Yeah.
But,
the big benefit of what I do is that I can chuck all of my stuff in a sack, work out the average, so I could have a 3 kilo package in there. And because I'll have a load of bottles, say, for example, going out the way, half a kilo each, it'll average down to below 2 kilos. And then I can send that 3 kilo package for £2.50 tracked.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So it really works out well. And then I get discount on large letters as well and all that stuff. So it works. Did you find anything, Zahir?
No.
Oh.
He's lost.
I will find it. I will find it, but because I did see it, it gives you a little breakdown on how much you've spent on postage.
Ah.
Yeah,
I've never used that service, so I'd be no help in this conversation. I don't know where it was. Right, shall we think about wrapping this up? It's now nearly 7:30.
Yeah, I've got complaints at Skittles.
Yeah.
I'm appalling at Skittles. You've never seen anything less sportswoman-like in your life as me trying to play Skittles. Pure comedy value. Right.
Sorry, I was just reading in the chat, seeing if there's anything we'll touch on before we go. I think we should wrap it up there, guys.
Yeah.
And if you manage to find that screen, you can do a screenshot and pass it on to Carla.
Yeah, if I can find it, I will.
Well, thank you ever so much for Carla. I'm sorry you had stress of trying to get in when we started.
I think it was entirely my end because I had to restart the PC, and when I restarted the PC, it just churned up very, very slowly. I think my hamster must have been asleep or something. And then once I went back in, then it was fine. So I think it was all my fault.
Okay, we'll go with that. It was all Carla's fault. Yeah, let's stick with that.
Oh my God. Makes a change. Makes a change. It's usually all Nick's fault.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope the viewers have enjoyed that. Thanks for all your comments and questions.
I've enjoyed it.
I think Zahir is still there somewhere in the darkness.
I'm still here.
Thanks for joining us, Zahir.
You'll have to wear a white t-shirt next week. Thank you for having me. Everybody have a lovely evening.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for joining us. And thanks, Z, for co-hosting. There are links to Zahir's channel if you're not already subscribed, which you should be. And there are links below to Carla's channel. Again, go over there and check her out. And I think we're done. So thanks, guys. Thanks for watching us. And we'll see you all soon.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Bye for now.